Wow, welcome to HARDABASHT Props Special Part 1. So, I didn't know if I should put this series as my regular episodes or not, but then when I thought about it, it's not fair because I didn't give the same efforts as the regular episodes I do, and I know there are few like month to month to get an episode, but you have to excuse me, guys. I have to do lot of things to keep on living, and it's barely to get few minutes here and there to spare to be able to prepare my episodes. But at this series, basically what I will do is just to be your voluntarily audiobook reader about the briefs for the propositions, because basically I feel like people don't give that much concern sometimes about it. It's like there is a few propositions that I hope that I pronounce it right. There's a few people giving concern for the proposition, and a lot of people they cross some propositions, and they basically just vote yes or no based on the flipping of the coin. So we will start with the last one to the first, and they are not that much. It's between it's 14 to 25, so it's around 11 or 12 propositions, so it's not that big deal. And by the way, I will not read the whole document for it. It's time consuming. It's like some of them 35 pages, 50 pages. But anyway, if you want me to do such a thing, I can do it for you guys and in a different channel. I mean, what more enjoyable than having someone read a book or article for you with some alien-like accent? All right. So basically, the first proposition I will talk about is proposition 25, which is replace cash bail with risk assessment referendum. So the brief is California proposition 25, the replace cash bail with risk assessment referendum. So basically, it's not who's rich can be bailed out and who's poor has to plead guilty or to suffer the jail. It will be, according to the understanding of the title, it will be a different scale there. And there's a yes vote is to uphold the contested legislation, Senate Bill 10 SB 10, which would replace cash bail with risk assessment for detained suspects awaiting trial. A no vote is to repeal the contested legislation, Senate Bill 10 SB 10, thus keeping in place the use of cash bail for detained suspects awaiting trial. The overview for that, it's how does bail work in California. As of 2019, California utilized a cash bail system to release detained criminal suspects. Before their trial, suspects paid a cash bond to be released from jail pending trial, with the promise to return to court for trial and hearing. The cash bond was repaid to suspect after their criminal trial were completed, no matter the outcome. The judicial Council of California, which is the rule-making department of the state's judicial system, described bail as a tool to ensure the presence of the defendant before the court. The state's countywide superior court the state's countrywide superior courts were responsible for setting cash bail amount for crimes, and judges were permitted to adjust the cash bail amount upward or downward. Suspects could post bail with their own money or through a commercial bail bond agent who pays the full bail amount in exchange for a non-refundable premium from suspects. In California, there was no law setting or capping premiums on bail bonds. According to the California Department of Insurance, agents typically charged around 10%. What was SB 10 designed to change about bail in California? SB 10 was designed to make California the first state to end the use of cash bail for all detained suspects awaiting trials. The legislation would replace the state's cash bail system with risk assessments to determine whether a detained suspect should be granted pretrial release and under what conditions. The risk assessments would categorize suspects as low risk, medium risk, or high risk. Suspects deemed as having a low risk of failing to appear in court and a low risk to public safety would be released from jail, while those deemed a high risk would remain in jail. With those deemed a medium risk could be released or detained depending on the local court's rules. SB 10 would exempt suspects of misdemeanor with exceptions from needing a risk assessment to be released. SB 10 would require the superior courts to establish pretrial assessment divisions, which would be tasked with conducting risk assessment and making recommendation for conditions of release. The state's judicial council would decide which risk assessment tools are valid for use. SB 10 would not itself mandate what factors the assessment tools need to consider, but the bill would state that tools shall be demonstrated by scientific research to be accurate and reliable. How did the veto referendum get on the ballot? In the California state legislature, most Democrats, 67 of 28, supported SB 10, while one of 39 Republicans supported the legislation. California Governor Jerry Brown designed SB 10 on August 28, 2018, and the veto referendum to overturn the bill was filed on August 29th. Senate Robert Hertzberg, hopefully I pronounce it right, the bill's lead sponsor, describes SB 10 as a transformational shift away from valuing private wealth and toward protecting public safety. He also said that upholding the legislation is ground zero in the fight over criminal justice reform. The American bail Coalition, a non-profit trade association, organized the Political Action Committee California against the reckless bail scheme to lead the effort to repeal SB 10 through a veto referendum. Jeff Clayton, not Clinton, Jeff Clayton. It's a different one. It's a different person, all right? He said the coalition's he is the collection Jeff Clayton, not Clinton, it's a different person. Jeff Clayton, the coalition's executive director, stated, "The only debate we are having right now is the current system worse than the alternative? And the answer is no, it's not." The top 10 donors to the committee were bail bond businesses, owners of bail bonds businesses, or companies that provided services or insurance to bail bond businesses. David Quintana, a California Bail Agents Association lobbyist, said, "You don't eliminate an industry and expect those people to go down quietly." California's 3 ACLU affiliated opposed SB 10, issuing a joint statement that said SB 10 is not the model for trial justice and racial equity that California should strive for. The statement called for new legislation to address racial bias in risk assessment tools. ACLU of North California Executive Director Abdi Sultani said the group would not, however, align with bail bond businesses to overturn SB 10. Sultani stated, "Make no mistake, the bail industry is not interested in equal justice or equal protection under the law. They are seeking to turn back the clock to protect their bottom line." So the fiscal impact, the fiscal the fiscal impact statements for this proposition is increased state and local costs, possibly in the mid-hundreds of millions of dollars annually for a new process for releasing people from jail prior to trial. Unclear whether some of the increased state costs would be offset by local funds currently spent on this type of workload. Decreased county jail costs, possibly in the high tens of millions of dollars annually. Unknown net impact on state and local tax revenue, generally related to people spending money on goods rather than paying for release from jail prior to trial. Like I said, if you want the full text to be read by a voice like me, I will make it in another channel, and it's need more preparation. All right, I mean, I read this 3 times and I still like reading it like the first time from you. So let's talk about supporters. Mention the supporters. We have the officials are Karen Bass, Ted Leo, Gavin Newsom, Tony Atkins, James Beal Jr., Bill Dodd, D, Maria Elena Dorazzo, D, Steve Glazer, D, Robert Hertzberg, D, Gerald Hill, Hannah Beth Jackson, Connie Leva, Holly Michelle, Bill Moning, Bob Wikowski, I hope that I pronounce it right, Scott Weiner, Rob Bonta, David Chio, Lorena Gonzalez, Fletcher, Todd Gloria, Reginald Jones, Sawyer, pronounce it by yourself, Sydney Kamlager, Anthony Rendon, and Daryl Steinberg. Formal officials who are supporting this is Kevin DeLeon, former state senate president. Political parties, the Democratic, who support this, and the unions are California Teachers Association and SEIU, California State Council, and the organizations are Action Now Initiative, League of Women Voters of California, and California Medical Association, Next Gen California. The first three arguments about this, the first from the Senator Robert Hertzberg. He said voters' referendums are supposed to be about direct democracy. Now wealthy people can simply write big checks. The reality is that California is the biggest bail market and has the highest bail rates in country. If these companies can delay it for a year, they can make money for a year. Sam Lewis, executive director of the anti-recidivism, he said, there are countless examples of how unfair and unsafe this system is. Take Kenneth Humphrey, a black senior citizen from San Francisco. He was accused of stealing a $5 and a bottle of cologne, burglary, and elder abuse. Unable to pay his way out, he was forced to wait in jail for almost an entire year before his court date. On any given day in California, there are nearly 50,000 people just like Kenneth Humphrey at risk of losing their jobs or their homes as they languish in jail. Meanwhile, Brock Turner was charged and convicted on multiple counts of sexual assault, a violent felony. Despite the severity of his charge, his bail was set as $150,000. Turner, now a registered sex offender, paid his bail and was immediately released back into the community as he awaited trial. I will not go to the official arguments because that will take a lot of time. I didn't know that it will take this much of time. I mean, I'm trying my best to not make you boring, guys. Let's jump to the opponents. All right. Non-Prop 25 provided a list of opponents which is available. Government entities are Orange County Board of Supervisor. I have no clue why Orange County Board of Supervisor and this. Organizations: American Bail Coalition, California Asian Pacific Chamber of Commerce, California Bail Agents Association, California Black Chamber of Commerce, California Business Roundtable, California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and California NACP State Conference, California Small Business Association, Crime Victims United of California, Golden State Bail Agents Association, and Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Associations. Arguments for Jeff Clayton. which is he is, by the way, a spokesperson for California against the reckless bail scheme. This legislation is a reckless attempt at changing the state's bail system and is fundamentally bad for California. While we all agree that bail reform is necessary, this costly, reckless plan will use racially based computer algorithm to decide who gets stuck in jail and who goes free. That's not right. Former Asim Joe Cotto, he said, the biggest flaw in SB 10 is the use of computer programs to make important justice decisions. These are the same type of algorithms that big data companies use to bombard us with ads every day. While I might appreciate an algorithm recommending books or television shows, I have long been against their use in making determination over insurance rates and whether or not someone gets a home loan or credit card. The use of algorithms has been proven to discriminate against the poor, minorities, and people who live in certain neighborhoods. Relying on algorithm to make important criminal justice decision is even more appalling. So financially, this one got a total contribution for who wanted to be yes, but in total of 8,341,735.57, and total expenditures was $1,111,159.53. Total contribution for no about this proposition is zero. No one donated a $1 for that. I mean, usually the underdog and the overdog about this, but I have no clue if the bail bonds company are worried that much about their business, why they didn't contribute anything for to say no to oppose the proposition. And it's kind of not makes sense somehow. I mean, if the number is low, we count them as the low dog, and the other is the high dog, so it will be a little bit empathic toward them somehow. But as they are just didn't pay anything, didn't spare anything for contribute for the prop, I think they don't even care, or maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe they have a some more calculations than what I'm aware of. So I will give now my personal opinion about the prop. Brightly, the prop is a positive step in somehow, and there is challenges in other bases, and let's be honest, this is some of the bad sides for the governmental culture in this country. It's always either or. They don't go to solutions in kind of between, or solutions give less harm. Like when I read this props, and my thought was, for example, bail bonds can work. If this one was as a yes, they can work to in behalf of the government, in behalf of the court. If someone didn't get failed to appear, for them to bring him up with a kind of a collateral damage that guy have, or a penalty that guy has to pay. I mean, and to be honest, that will make it more suitable for their name. They don't name themselves bail bond collector. It's famous. They're famously named as bounty hunters. So I think this is the more like bounty hunter. You know, someone that failed to appear, and we hire you to court them on their own expense. So that will be kind of a solution. I think that what his name again? I think who's the one who was anyway. So saying it's not perfect, there will be challenges, is something that I agree with, but saying it's the current one, it's not worse than the alternative, as a no, I don't have the word to describe it. All right, it's, let's say, not even hypocrisy can fit in this. And this is the worst word that I can think in my mind. Saying that the current situation, with all its flaws, it will be better than any the current alternative, is like even Lucifer will feel shy to make this claim. And I don't mean because it's a good claim. It's awful so much that Lucifer himself maybe will feel like, what the heck is this guy is talking about? Literally any alternative will be better than this current system. I'm talking about the judicial system in general, and I hold a lot of respect for judges. For me, they are kind of the hostage of the society. All right, they are tied up, and they have the most crucial, intensive, stress building and boring kind of job that person could ever have. I mean, no matter what, if you notice at the face of some judge when he or she read some legislative article that's to clarify on what the best of her judge will be, no matter what is the case, no matter if it's convict or not, you will feel a one impression during the reading, which will be boredom. It's like, this is the price of being in the position. You know, this is the mental price to keep the job. It's to be like, to read this boring sentences to clarify for someone doesn't really care about the details for why he will get this convict. Anyway, I thought that I will make like 2 or 3 props, but I was so much optimistic, so I believe that this is it for now. And I know that maybe I kind of scared you by my endings. So and now I'm about to ending. So if you want to lower the voice a little bit, and if you have a headset, take them off and go to the speaker, because honestly, I have to say. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if so, leave a like and write a comment about stuff that you want me to HARDABASHT about. As also, hit hard on the subscribe button and jiggle the bells for notifications, and share the video with whoever you like, and be aggressive about this series, because it's more important to know what yes or no you will be. Until then, I will camp here and let my sheep rest for another video, and then see y'all. Heesh.